regular session of the Watson County School Board meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Castelo, followed by a moment of silence. Anyone not wishing to participate may stay seated.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Let the record show, please, that Mr. Price was not able to attend tonight. He is not here. First thing we start with is recognition of the 2024 All-State Choir with Jessica Bevan from Magnolia High School and Tyler Geho from Magnolia High School. So if you come up, please. Picture. That's quite an honor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, the next is a presentation.
Sorry, I've not seen Tim and Miss Wally, so maybe something happened. I'll double check with them and get them on the next meeting.
We'll get them on another meeting. Okay, thank you. There are no delegations signed up. Superintendent's information.
Okay, can you, this is good? All right, I have several things to go over this evening. First off, I need to start with, pursuant to the West Virginia Code 18-4-10-5, and due to the health risk associated with Hayden City High School being located atop an EPA-designated Superfund site, all students and staff of Hayden City High School will be relocated at the start of the 24-25 school year. Students in grades 7 and 8 will relocate to the Martinsville School. Students in grades 9 through 12 will relocate to Magnolia High School. Temporary closure of Hayden City High School and reassignment of students and staff shall continue until further notice. Secondly, I just wanted to let you know that Mrs. Bates at our county office, our coordinator county office that helps with social media, and I have committed to doing weekly updates around all of the things that are happening to Wetzel County schools, such as the building of the bus garage, the renovation of the new facilities building. We're going to start the renovations of the Pro Start. We've done 2 videos so far, one for graduation and one at the start of summer, so be looking for those. We'd like to make sure that everyone is well aware of the projects that we have going on. On Thursday, we will be doing a solution tree training on PLCs. So we would like to focus next year on making sure that our PLCs are run efficiently so that we can look at our data more in-depthly to make plans for our Tier 2 interventions for students. We'll do this Thursday at the board office. I did want to tell you also that I attended the annual chamber dinner where we had several of our employees recognized. Ms. Shipman, Mr. Wheatley, Mrs. Green, and Mrs. Later. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. Thank you.
Just one comment. So the PLC training, is that just for the directors? Is it for teachers? Is it for, who's that for?
So it's the phase 1 will be the teacher, or not the teachers, the principals and the directors. That's going to be on Thursday, and then we'll have those trainings for our teachers in August. We'd like to have July 30 and 31, close to August. We really want to kind of hone that skill in to make those.
I hope that honing it will make it less for them teachers to have to do.
Yes.
And less time required for them.
Yes. We already currently hold PLCs, but we'd like to make them more efficient. So by having these trainings with Solution Tree, which is a nationally known organization that does PLCs, I'm pretty sure it's really good for us.
Okay, next thing on the agenda are superintendent's recommendations. There is one change. It's back on page 4 under the summer handyman employment. Anna Louise Gomillon, I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation. We just need to take that off the list, but she's not going to be doing that. Now, there are a lot of things under the superintendent's recommendation, but let's start with the approval of minutes. from the regular meeting of May 28th. Do I have a motion? It's been moved by Mrs. Nice. Is there a second? I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously with the 4 that are here. Now, there are a lot of other things now under the personnel matters, so what I'm going to ask the board members, just go down through because it's, resignations, professional personnel, service personnel, extracurricular, employment of special education coordinators, employment of summer school teachers, employment of extended school year, employment of summer cooks, employment of credit recovery teacher, a summer handyman. So all of those, is there anything on there that you wish to discuss before I ask for a motion? There being none, then I will ask for a motion for approval of the superintendent's recommendations as outlined under personnel matters. Is there a motion? It's moved by Mr. Glasscock. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Nice. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Routine matters. We have out-of-state trips, fundraisers, and then the places that are the fundraisers. The maintenance projects, the surplus property, and the surplus property. Is there any discussion on any of those before I ask for a motion?
The surplus property has just so that, but we still own it, we just listed that, correct?
Right, we'll still own it. There's been a company that's expressed some interest in leasing our mineral rights. It's an old school lot and on the land's run. It is Valley High School. There's another one, there's 4 acres or something like that we own there, and Payton City Elementary School. But we would still own mineral rights, it's just leasing those out. And we'll have an auction, it'll be advertised in the newspaper, there'll be an auction, and everybody can bid on it. But it's the same procedure we passed before. Later on today, we'll be bringing $12,000 that we received in some of our old school lots that we received in some leases that we have.
There won't be any activity there, though, right?
Yeah.
They'll be horizontally drilling, et cetera.
Okay, then do I have a motion for approval of the superintendent's recommendations as outlined under routine matters?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Castillo. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Glasscock. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Treasurer's report.
On item A, I'm asking for approval for payment of bills for the month of May. I do have several transfers and increases in the budget. I'm going to go over this briefly with you. This time of year, I always have these supplements or transfers. We got 2 board meetings till the end of the fiscal year, so there's a lot of cleanup that has to be done to make sure we don't end up with any negative balances on certain project codes and plug any holes where things have happened where, we couldn't hire a teacher, so now I've got a surplus in that line item, but the sub costs are going up because we couldn't hire a teacher. I've got to transfer those monies around to make sure I've got it in the right line items. So the first item you'll see is supplements, which is revision number 12. And you will see a supplement of 2.5 million, almost $2.6 million. I'll talk about all of those here in a second. And special revenue fund of $42,485.80. Special revenue fund, there's a summer invest conference. I believe they started that last year at the state. It's to pay, do some training with some of our teachers there. There's the IDEA Special Education Boot Camp for new teachers, $1,185 there. IDEA Special Ed Summer Job Coach, $26,000, bringing that to the board now. And then the large item there, which I said was roughly $2.6 million, that happens, if I'm doing my job, that happens to a lesser extent every year. We budget a certain amount of tax collections every year. And we've never not met that tax budget. We've had a couple years where it's made me nervous, but we have met our tax budget. And so anything over that will supplement the budget now. If we don't spend it, and that's not our plan, is to spend it, we will plug some holes that we need to, but if we don't spend it, it becomes part of the carryover balance, of which, you know how that works. We'll bring that back to the board and we'll reallocate those funds when I get my financial statements completed. So I broke down I'm not going to go through where all the holes that are being plugged are, but I will let you know where the revenue, that excess revenue, what it's made up of. Tax collections in excess of the budget. $537,000 and some change there for the regular levy, and $549,000 for the excess levy. We budgeted a certain amount. That's the amount over the budget, so we're bringing that to the board now. Something we've talked about before that I'm really proud of what our department has done here. West Virginia Consolidated Fund interest earned. You know, it wasn't that long ago when we were receiving $20,000 a year in bank interest. And now I'm bringing to the board $977,000. Part of that is the extra revenue we've received from taxes. That certainly helps. Part of that is the bank interest rates that have gone up. That certainly helps. But most of that is because we started participating in the state auditor's office, that investment pool, and it's working out for us. It's something that we manage and roll back and forth, make sure we have operating budget, but we'll roll excess funds down there and earn some interest. Hydro plant, the hydro plant there on the Ohio River, there's an agreement that was made years ago, payment in lieu of taxes there, $283,914. I'm bringing that to the board. Mineral leases that I talked about from some of their existing ones, $12,000 and some change there. There's some various insurance proceeds if there was a bus accident or something, damage to a bus, that's the insurance proceeds. I've got to bring that to the P-card program. It's just part of this miscellaneous revenue. The P-card program, I'm just going to be honest, big headache for my department, but it's a wonderful thing for a lot of the teachers in this school system and the schools and some of the things we can do with that P-card program. We do get a rebate from that, so a lot of that $47,000 represents that P-card rebate. E-rate reimbursement, we participated in E-rate. Our reimbursement for that program was $144,000 and some change. We started doing something with govdeals.com. We have to auction off surplus property. You know, just like the mineral leases that we just, or those minerals that we own, we have to auction it off. I'm going to do that a little different. I'm going to actually hold the auction myself. But when we're selling excess property, there's a site called govdeals.com where we can list items on there and do that. So there's some revenue that we've received there from selling some surplus property that the board has previously declared surplus. That actually happened at the beginning of the year. And that's it for the supplements. The transfers, really all you're seeing there are special education transfers. That's a federal grant and a state grant there that you have to make sure you have no negative line items, individual line items, and count codes. And so that's being cleaned up there and making sure we end the fiscal year with everything where it's supposed to be. That's all that I have for that. Finally, I have item C, approval to designate any remaining balances for fiscal year 2004 and report on the financial statements after June 30, 2024, and after invoices are paid off with following unrestricted projects. Here's all this is. If we have certain local projects, let's use the bus garage for example, we set aside a significant amount of money in that project. It's already been spoken for by the board, it's already in this local project. If we don't designate it before June 30th, it becomes part of our overall carryover again, and we got to do all that stuff again. We don't do that, so what we have to do as part of my financial statements is have the board designate all of our little local projects we have here. You'll designate it that it's going to go right back into that project, basically. That's all we're doing in this case. These are the same thing we've done for years. And that, I believe that is more than a mouthful. I am finished.
Okay, everything that's listed right there, we have approved, but it may happen. This doesn't mean that everything on this list will happen this year.
Well, for example, there might be funds left over in some of those projects. For instance, you see the PCE gymatorium.
That's okay.
We have a little bit of excess funds there. There's still some unused paving that needs to be done there. There's some things that we'll probably use that project for. But just because it said, well, another thing, we're here at Shoreline School. It says Shoreline School HVAC. That project is done. We just had a surplus at the end of the year. That money's going back into that project. Doesn't mean we're going to spend it on short line HVAC, but we're temporarily putting it in that place. And then down the road, we have, you know, I don't think there's a lot there, but we just got to keep it in that little project.
Thank you. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the Treasurer's report for the approval for payment of bills for the month of May 2024, and approval for transfers and increases in budget, and approval to designate any remaining balances for the fiscal year 2024.
So,
Okay, moved by Mrs. Nice, seconded by Mr. Castelo. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Okay, board member committee reports, anything from long time? Anything? Okay, under other items,
Mr. Houston is going to speak on the training that we just did, 7 habits of highly effective leaders. Please.
So last Thursday and Friday, we had a training board office. All our administrators were there, and also Karen, special ed office, and she also took part of that. Basically, again, it's the 7 highly effective habits. Okay, somebody may have heard of that before. Basically, what it did was it caused us to really look at ourselves and how we think we should deal with people, and just basically try to make us better people, and look at things a little bit differently. Like the concept is win-win. You don't always have to win that argument. A lot of times when you do win that argument, the other person loses, so to speak. So down the line, that's going to hurt you. Also, just talking about alternatives, trying to look for something outside the box. I'll give you an example. I'm sure this will kill me. It's like our guest that was going to be here tonight, Molly the dog. I'll be honest with you, when I first heard about the dog, I wasn't real good about it. I just didn't see it. But, you know, we came up with something outside the box that was an alternative, and I was sold on it, and I found out the next day when the dog was in the school, that we had a situation that was going to blow up with a student where we probably were going to have to restrain that student. It was going to be a real bad situation for all kinds of kids. Well, Miss Molly walked into that room and just shut down just like nothing ever happened. So that's a prime example. You know, something that you learn from that. So just because somebody has a different opinion or solution doesn't make sense so bad. They turn out to be very good. So you got to look at walking things a little bit more of an open mind. But I want to tell you, it was 2 days of training that I thought was very beneficial. And I will tell you that our teachers are going to get it probably next summer. The whole, this is just part of the plan that's laid out over 3 years, working with Franklin County. Right now we're starting with administrators, and eventually it's going to go out to all the schools. The students are going to be involved in this through what's called the Leader in Me program. And I want to tell you what's really great about working with Franklin County is we had to make an investment on our end, but for every dollar we spend, we get $1.50 back from them. So I think that's pretty good gain. Anytime you get 1-to-1 or a little bit better 1-to-1, pretty good. And it will help us, you know, help our teachers, it will help our students, and it'll help our administrators. And I think it's a good thing for Rutherford County School. All right?
thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Houston.
Did you have anybody else that you wanted? Okay, I have 2 things that I wanted to put in under other items. One, the self-assessment for the school board. I know that you were having trouble and you were having trouble trying to get it. If you want to contact me one day, meet at the county office, and I can try to see if I can help you find it and you do it, or with Mrs. Porter, since it's on your computer that you did it, but I can help find it. Because we have to get it done this month before we switch, you know, Mr. Price leaves and Mrs. Porter comes. Okay. All right, the second thing is, we did get papers or emails about all the trainings this year, which has increased way more than the trainings that we've had in the past. I also got one about the President's Meeting. It's going to be held at Glade Springs, and that's in July, late July, the third week. It is the President's Meeting, but we don't know at this point who the President will be for the next term because that doesn't start till July 1. And that's when we have to re-elect again. If anybody's interested in going to it, it doesn't have to be just the President, but it is at Glade Springs, and it's like the third week in July. So if you have interest,
I
talk
must
to
be
you.
meeting before Friday because the deadline is Friday. I've already registered one. That's what we've typically done, but I can add, but the deadline is Friday.
Anybody else have anything? All right, the date and time of next meeting is June 25th at 6 o'clock at the county office. And then July 1st is our statutory meeting where the oath of office will be taken by the 3 people that got elected into the board this year. Time will be determined. We'll get that at the next meeting. Do I have a motion for adjournment? Oh, you have a question first? Yes.
The President's Meeting,
Yes.
that you just spoke of. Christine,
Yeah, I was, she and I are going to orientation together at the end of June. But yes, if she wants to go to the President's Meeting, we'll contact you.
Call me Friday.
There's a lot of trainings this year, a lot. Okay.
You can think about it. Okay, I'm done.
She might be overwhelmed just by orientation for 2 days. Okay, do I have a motion for adjournment? It's moved by Mrs. Nice, is there a second? Second by Mr. Glasscock. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned.